Hey everyone, it's me, Fiona Jane, aka Dr. Hikaru, and yeah, I know no makeup. I'm a little worse for wear right now, but I've been avoiding doing a video since what? August was my last video, and I have a box of tissues because this is going to be one of those really candid ones. Um, so I wanted to talk about. The goal of this video, if you've already seen the title, is the things people don't want to hear. So this video is going to be all over the place about what I feel are the things people don't want to hear, or rather some of the things I don't want to say because people don't want to hear them. First off, since August, my health went really downhill. My nausea came back really bad. I put on like 30, 40 pounds of weight since my last surgery. And I was just not happy, to say the least. I was spotting through my periods. I was super nauseous in the morning. I had pelvic pain come back. I had super bloating of doom. I was spending a lot of evenings that I was traveling just kind of sitting in the bathtub crying because having that much belly bloat is really uncomfortable, you know. So I went back. I saw my specialist, Dr. Najat, and they kind of agreed I was probably looking at another surgery path, but would I be interested in talking to adding another doctor onto my case who is more of a naturopath, a homeopath, to see if that would get me some results. That way I don't have to go straight into surgery. So at the end of 2015, I was getting a lot of blood work done. I was starting to consult with this naturopath. I was pretty miserable about my weight and how I looked, and I think that's one reason why I didn't want to go on video, because I'm already self-conscious enough, and then having to talk about you getting fat is no one really wants to hear that. No one wants to hear after you have your surgery you're still having these recurring problems. Everyone just wants to hear how you're doing good and endo doesn't really affect you, when it affects you in a lot of ways. The good news, though, is I was able to wean off my interstitial cystitis meds. I know the lighting's horrible. I had to plug in my tablet so I could do this video, but I didn't want to put it off because I had done my makeup the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna do my video today. I'm on track to get my work done. I'm working from home. Oh, and I was so exhausted, and I just passed out, and I didn't get to do my video. So I was like, well, that's okay. I'll do one today. So that was the end of 2015. 2016, my homeopath said, hey, I want to try to balance your gut. I've seen a lot of situations like yours where women have already had surgery and they're just seeing this colossal downhill effect afterwards. And so I am taking prebiotics and probiotics to try to help balance that gut and to regenerate my flora. That will be another video about the diet. And I was put on a super restrictive diet. So no corn, no soy, no GMOs, no gluten, no sugar. Any dairy has to be whole and grass-fed. Any meat that I put in my body have to be pasture-fed as well. So needless to say, that kick-started in 2016. And that's been a challenge. You could figure out. The good news is I'm not traveling right now, so I was able to baseline with this diet and figure out what works out for me. And then I caught bronchitis, and I'm finally off the antibiotics, and it was a pretty bad chesty bronchitis. I had started with a cold that wiped me out, and then I was gone into bronchitis. So knowing that I was starting this new diet and knowing that my body was already out of whack, I figured I was going to get sick, and it's the holidays and get run down, and I freaking hate the holidays. So yeah. I did this video because I know that since I had bronchitis, I was put on antibiotics. We all know antibiotics interferes with your birth control. And my birth control was already giving me issues. So in 2015, I was actually off my birth control for 3 months because I was spotting every day. And it turned out that my the lining of my uterus had gotten so thin that I was kind of just having blood clots all the time, and there was really nothing there to protect my uterus lining. So they took me off low estrogen 21 for 2 to 3 months to see if we can grow my uterus lining back to a more acceptable level that wasn't leaving me with blood clots. So I was off that, and the bloating was horrible, and I know, because I've already been diagnosed with PMDD, that my period, my hormones, my anxiety, my depression, they're all kind of tied in together. And one way I deal with it is you've got to kind of be self-aware. Like, you've got to understand that when your hormones are out of whack, you are going to be a lot more irritated. And you'll be prone to just kind of crying all the time. Because that's what depression is. I mean, that's not what depression is. It's more than just crying all the time. But so here I am again. When I went on my antibiotics, I let my homeopath know. And I let her also know that prior to being on antibiotics, I had started spotting again on a regular basis. So she took me off my birth control, and we're going to try to figure something out. Because on the barrage of blood tests I also had done, my estradiol was at a menopausal level. PA for hormones that are all out of whack, right? So here I am making this video and knowing I'm going to just be sappy through it. And I feel some days I'm just kind of dying a little inside, because you get so far and you get everyone thinking that you're coping so well, and you want to believe that, and there are just some days where you just feel like you're dying inside, and you kind of feel no one wants to listen to that, because you don't want to be that person who's sobbing and just seemingly unhappy and just like irritable and hard to deal with. And so you just kind of stay inside and you bottle it up and you kind of fester like a wound, and then it lances open because you're so frustrated with things at home, or you have a bad day, or you're just so cranky because you're sick, and you know you've just been on things again. And I've, ever since my surgery, I've always been like, I don't want to be on anything unless I'm dying or there's an absolute need to be on, because I have been medicated so badly because of endometriosis. And I find myself these days not wanting to go to social events, or too exhausted to go out and see people, because I'm just kind of getting by. I mean, my new diet, I post pictures that I'm cooking a lot because I'm trying to stick to it, and I want to give it a chance, and I want to feel normal. I don't want to have nausea. I don't want to I can't wear pants without an elastic waistband because my belly bloat is so horrible. I'll go 4 to 6 inches in a day. And I'm really good about hiding it. I know not to wear tight-fitted things around my waist, because I feel, as somebody who's also struggled with body dysmorphia, it's so hard for me to kind of deal with this weight gain. And it just feels so unfair that if I do boxing, or if I do CrossFit, or if I do these body workouts, and I eat right, I was just not losing this weight. And everyone will tell you, you know, you look good, and deep down inside, you know, you've looked better, and I've struggled with that body dysmorphia for like 20 years now. So I'm having a bloating belly on top of it. It's not easy to deal with. Yeah. And so I'm making this video because, one, I want to stick to these videos. They're therapeutic for me. I've gotten a lot of private messages from other women who have endometriosis who are glad that I'm willing to go public and share everything going on with me, because my story is not the only one. You know, I know a lot of women, and I'm thankful for the women who have reached out to me telling me that, you know, what I'm going through is they've gone through it too, and they struggle with it. And while there's no cure for endometriosis, I mean, the best we can do is hang on together and like share experiences. And I try to stay positive about it. I like to think I am a positive person, but just, I mean, some of the other things that have happened to me is I've got some things going on in my personal life, and I don't want to talk about my personal life, but it was kind of a conflict of interest because in my endometriosis videos, I like to be candid and tell you about what's going on. Because the stress that happens in your life, whether it's personal, professional, interrelational, it all affects you on endometriosis, because endometriosis just kind of magnifies everything. So I didn't want to talk about what was going on in my personal life, but when your dentist tells you that your bite has moved during your 6-month exam, and it's due to the extreme pressure of you clenching your jaw when you're sleeping. It's 6 months. It had moved so much. I need to now have an orthodontic consult. It's kind of a wake-up call that I wasn't handling my stress the way I thought I was. I was now starting to clench and grind my teeth at night. And I used to have temporomandibular joint dysfunction, and I had my jaw realigned, and I did 4.5 years of orthodontist to get that fixed. And here I am. In 6 months, my bite moving so much, I had to see an orthodontist, and I have to now wear a night guard to keep myself from clenching my teeth at night. And it was kind of this wake-up call, and my body is not reacting to stress the way I thought it would be. I mean, I've already been super exhausted, and I've noticed that, you know, I'm just exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted, and now I have to wear a bite guard, and now my bite's misaligned, and I'm on a new diet. And, you know, the new diet is, there's a lot of great things about it. And like I said, I'll do a separate video because that's a long topic in itself. I mean, it is helping me with my nausea. But, you know, it is kind of stressful having to really read everything you get your hands on. And not like a super stress, like, oh my God, this is going to kill me. But it's like, it's in the back of your head. I'm always thinking about when I'm going to eat, what I'm going to eat, how I can leverage all the stuff in my fridge, how to get variety into my diet when I have all these things I can't have, how to shop responsibly, how to bargain shop for the things that I didn't used to care about. And just, you know, if it says it's organic, great, there's no GMOs on it. But if you start looking at meats and you start asking how the cow is fed, I mean, you can't buy that meat at Walmart. That's pasture fed with no hormones and no soy or no corn. Anyway, so like I said, that's another topic on the diet, solely on the diet. But I mean, I am pretty stressed. I am pretty run down. And some days I think I can just sleep it off, you know, and I might wake up in a better mood and not so tired. I find that, you know, there are people who do want to hear how I'm really doing, but nobody wants to hear this litany of, here are all the things wrong with me, and here's how I'm trying to cope. And some days you just feel so alone, and I know that's the depression talking, especially since there's nothing to regulate my hormones right now. And I'm at that point where I'm just kind of like, okay, I've had 2 surgeries. If I'm gonna have another one, just take everything out. I mean, I know I've talked about having kids, and my situation on having kids has kind of changed, and my view on that, and that's part of the stress in my system. But I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't want a life like this. I don't want a life of elastic waistbands. I want to feel normal. I've been normal for short periods of time where I feel like endo doesn't inhibit me, and then there are these little things where I know it does. And I don't like to talk about how miserable it makes me, or how lonely you feel when you start having clots again, when you're using the restroom and you're not supposed to have a period, and you're spotting, and you go to just, you know, wipe yourself, and there's a huge clot in your hand, and you're just looking at it, and a part of you dies when you're looking at it, because sometimes I know it's TMI and it's kind of gross, but I shouldn't be clotting. Sometimes they're so big. I feel like it would almost look like parts of a miscarriage. It's that carnal and gross, but I'm not having sex. I've had sex in 6 months, so it can't be a miscarriage. I'm not pregnant. I haven't been pregnant ever. So, it wears on you. But I'm trying to make it through. And like I said, I knew this video would be a super emotional one because I'm having a low day, and I'm finding that my low days come a little more often, and I want to sleep more often, and I don't want to deal with a lot of things more and more often because I feel I'm putting so much energy in just trying to make the day-to-day work. That's tiring. And cooking brings me joy, and seeing my friends are going to see puppies brings me joy, but I just feel like I'm dying inside and nobody wants to hear that. Please don't respond to me and say that I need to be medicated again for my depression and anxiety, because I need to get my hormones stable before I look at getting back on Prozac or something. I mean, I'm handling a lot of things. I've got doctor appointments coming up. I'm just trying to talk about what the day-to-day is kind of like, and what it feels like when you feel like nobody wants to hear that you are going to be more irritable or cranky or hangry. And it's not because you want to be, it's because of your circumstance. It's because your body mechanics are all off. It's because your hormones are messed up. It's because you're tired and you're in pain, and being sick just reminds you that there's so much you can't do right now. And I try to be gentle to myself and just try to sleep it off, but then that also attributes to depression, and it's just this never-ending cycle where you don't really want to tell people I'm not okay. I'm not like suicidal or anything. I know that my anxiety and my depression is like really on a tight threshold within line, because I am going through a lot of internal changes with this dealing with endometriosis. And it's a process. I want to stick out this diet and see if I find more improvement. I want to see if my blood levels are going to change when we test me again. I know I have a vitamin D deficiency, and that's causing some of these issues too, and I'm taking vitamin D for it. But I also know a lot of it is having that human contact and being able to articulate and express that you kind of do need a little help in a way that you don't really like asking from before. And that's where this video comes in. I've been avoiding doing my videos for a little too long, partly because I didn't want to see a fatter, body dysmorphic version of myself on the internet. Partly because I still didn't talk about a lot of the personal things that are amplifying my life and causing levels of stress that are causing my teeth to clench at night. But I also wanted to share my story with my older sisters out there, because there's a lot experiencing it. And so I want to turn this into something positive, and I would love to hear your stories too on like how you're doing to cope. I mean, I know a lot of different coping mechanisms, and I'm using them all when I can. And I don't like feeling like I'm dying a little inside. I don't like knowing that when I get put on antibiotics, a lot of the work I've done on coping and dealing with depression and anxiety goes out the door, because antibiotics fuck with the rest of my system. They fuck with my hormones. I don't think anyone would like knowing that. So I'm going to cap this video about 20 minutes, and I'm at 19:30, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and post it before I have second thoughts. And again, I'd like to thank you all for your for watching, listening, and just being there 20 minutes of listening to me talk about how I'm talking about things I don't want to talk about isn't exactly pleasant. And yeah, my next video I'll try to be a little more put together. This is just candid. Take care. care. I wish you all the best of spoons. I hope you guys have happy days, and reach out to me. I'm here, Dr. Hikaru. Not really a doctor. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and I would love to hear your story as well, especially if you need somebody who needs you when you feel like no one else is going to listen. Okay, bye.